It has been way too long since we have discussed anything fashion related on this channel. I feel like we've been doing so many commentaries on social media trends and overconsumption, and I just need a little bit of time to sit down and talk about all things fashion, all things trending in fashion. Of course, I have to put a spin on it, on like how to incorporate it into your own wardrobe without falling for overconsumption and immediately needing to consume trendy pieces, along with like how to take it as inspiration to spice up things you already have in your own closet. Hello there, if you are new, my name is Lainey Jean, and if you're not new here, thank you so much for coming back to another video. I am in like a very excited mood today. Before we get into the video, I do think I need to start doing this on my videos. If you are not subscribed and you watch my videos on a regular basis, please consider hitting the subscribe button. I don't want to force it on anyone, but I do have a large audience that comes back on a regular basis that is not subscribed. So it's free. I mean, it's right there. The button's right there. You can turn on post notifications if you want to be notified when I upload, but you don't have to. So we just had New York Fashion Week for fall and winter 2026 here in New York City, and it got me thinking about what I'm expecting to see for spring and summer. So I took a look at all of the different fashion shows. Well, not all of them, but like a good handful. I sat for about 3 hours looking at all the different runway shows to kind of refresh my brain on what was happening and common trends I was seeing and what I'm expecting to see from that. The very first trend I'm really expecting to see is an uptick in people personalizing their shoes and their footwear. This was very prominent in the Colina Strada collection, both for spring, summer, and for fall and winter. They went all out with it, and I think there's something so cool about having like really worn-in shoes and designing them and making them personal to you through little charms, different laces, different textures, and also just the look of like a really worn-in shoe is so cool to me. It's chic. It shows that you like use the items you have. I'm a person that would much rather have my item look worn because I wear it rather than try to keep something pristine and perfect all the time. I feel like we were seeing a lot of personalization with people's purses, the Jane Birkinification of like everyone's purses. So the bag charms, the scarves around your handles. I even did this with charms that I was just happened to be gifted, and I really like it. Like I like the idea of personalizing your bags and making them special to you and being able to switch those things out to renew the style of your bag without having to buy an entire new bag. And I think we've been on a consistent trajectory to personalizing people's shoes in any sense of style. That could be sneakers, flats, heels. I think everyone is going to start adding personalized items to their footwear. A huge trend I was seeing in almost every single runway I was looking at was hair. I'm not talking just about like hair, the styling of it, but like hair as an accessory. The way people are styling their hair and using it. The Olsen tuck was huge in the fall and winter runways, and I feel like we saw some of that starting to happen in spring and summer. Obviously, you're not wearing as many coats and jackets. There was a lot of scarves of hair that was fall and winter, but I think we might see some of that in the spring and summer as well. Horsehair accessories, especially there's like necklaces that have horsehair, which I think is pretty fitting considering we are in the year of the horse now. A lot of people are like in their short hair era. I don't want to sound cringe, but like their short hair era. Like I chopped all my hair off 2 years ago now, a year and a half ago. I think a lot of people are cutting their hair short and then adding hair elsewhere in their outfits because of the lack of hair. But I also think that it could mean that people are going to start to grow their hair out to a length where they can do the Olsen tuck. Or if for some reason people start wearing their hair as a scarf. I don't know. It's fun, it's quirky, it's a little out there. I'm here for it. I think it's fun, I think it's different, and I do think I am cooking when I say that people are cutting off their hair and then wearing it elsewhere. This comes as no surprise, but texture is going to be huge. I think especially in the spring and the summer when we aren't able to layer as much. There's still ways to layer, but it is so hot now, especially with climate change. It is just hot all the time. When you have those hot days and you can't necessarily layer or wear anything except for like a tank top and shorts, having texture in those items can be really helpful to your personal style. So pieces, I was seeing a lot of shorts and skirts and pants that they were pretty simple just as a base, and then they would have details of a lot of pockets or for shorts and pants, they would have like a skirt overlaid on them, like a short skirt. I was seeing a lot of outfits that were like one color, specifically black, and then it was a lot of lace and texture kind of separating the layers of the outfits, which I thought was really cool. Probably we'll just see a lot more people leaning into that because we want to be able to have personality in our outfits while not dying of heat. Stripes and polka dots have been huge the past couple seasons. Based on the runways, it looks like polka dots are kind of going away, which I don't agree with. I think polka dots are here to stay. I want them here to stay. They're here to stay for me. They've never been a trend for me. They are here to stay for me. Fall and winter, we were seeing a lot of horizontal stripes for 2025, whereas in the spring and summer, we're seeing a lot more vertical stripes. I feel like this is kind of a common occurrence for spring and summer. You know, you think of like a polo button down that has the vertical stripes, like the blue and white stripes. I think it's a classic summer pattern. So this doesn't necessarily surprise me, but I do think that there's a lot more brands that were leaning into it, kind of in asymmetrical ways too, which I thought was very interesting. And I'm excited to see how that carries over into the spring and summer. Going along with dots versus stripes, I think we are moving away from animal prints that have a lot of dots and circles and more towards stripe patterns. So for example, we were seeing deer print and leopard print, Dalmatian print, and I think we're leaning more towards things like zebra and tiger print. I'm seeing a lot of that. Personally, you will not be able to get rid of my leopard print skirt and my purse that has leopard print. Like leopard print is just a basic in my personal wardrobe. It is a staple pattern that I'm going to continue to wear. I love it. I'm obsessed with it, not getting rid of it. However, I do think with the trend of us going from dotted patterns to striped patterns, that is also going to happen in the world of animal print. But I will say, with moving away from dots, I feel like we're still moving towards button. It's a circular accessory detail. I'm obsessed with them. I've been obsessed with them since I made my upcycling video, talking about ways to just upcycle items in your home. This is a upcycling project I really, really want to do. I've been trying to collect buttons wherever I can find them. Detailing of really big accent buttons or a lot of small buttons has been very prominent. It's a very simple detail that goes a long way when it comes to an outfit. And it doesn't just have to be on your clothes. I've been seeing a lot of it pop up on places like Pinterest of people making necklaces and chokers and bracelets and earrings and hair clips and headbands, also covered in buttons, and purses, people like sewing buttons onto their purses. Next, pearls. I've been kind of predicting this for the past 2 years. Is that ambitious of me to say? I have been trying to bring back pearls in a casual way for a very long time, and I will continue to do that. I wear this necklace so frequently, I think it's just kind of become a part of me at this point. I have people in my day-to-day life ask me, Lainey, why are pearls significant to you? I see you wearing that necklace all the time. There's no significance. There's no significance. This was given to me by a woman who lived above the tea shop I used to work at, and I decided that I really liked it, and I started wearing it on a regular basis. And it just really feels like a part of my style. And this necklace specifically, it's not real pearls. It is starting to like fade. The paint is starting to come off. It has turned one of my sweaters brown on the neckline, which is unfortunate. I'm gonna have to find a way to handle this so that it doesn't ruin my clothes, but I don't want to get rid of it. I think a lot of people notice that I wear pearls, and I'm excited to see it come to the mainstream. I'm not a kind of person that will gatekeep what I'm wearing. Like if I see other people wearing things similar to me, it's really cool. I think it means people are relating to my personal style. Does that mean that I base my personal style off of what is trending all the time? No, but it is cool to see something that you've been wearing for a while become mainstream. And I think that is what's going to happen with pearls. I think pearls are going to be a piece that we wear on a regular basis that doesn't necessarily have to be dressy. As far as colors go, I was seeing a lot of a muted baby blue and then a muted lime green. I love green and blue. My closet consists of browns, creams, black, white, blue, and green, and like a little bit of yellow. Neutrals, if you will. Earth tones. Some orange and red in there too. But like, I lean earthy. This blue and green, especially together, is so gorgeous. So gorgeous. I'm obsessed with that. Unfortunately, I am almost too here for this color combo and like for these colors alone. Yeah, last year I feel like I bashed on butter yellow. I shouldn't say bashed on it. I didn't see it as a regular color in my wardrobe. I do have a couple yellow pieces in my closet. One of them is butter yellow, and I do wear it on a regular basis and it works with my closet, but I'm not going out of my way to buy it. This blue and this green color, I would in fact go out of my way to buy it. Yes, I would. Yes, I would. That's how obsessed I am with it. And that's rare for me to become so obsessed with a color. I feel like this blue color, this green color, and then like a chocolate brown are my kryptonite when it comes to colors in fashion. No surprise to any, sheer layers are of course going to be in. We were seeing a lot of it on the runways. Some of it was very shiny, kind of pearlescent. Others was just, you know, your classic mesh see-through, a lot in that blue color, and lots of fun layering with it, which is another trend I think we're going to be seeing, is a lot of layering, like excessive layering, which I know I was saying earlier that I don't think we're going to be able to layer as much in the heat, but we were seeing a big trend of it on the runway. So incorporating it in something as simple as like a t-shirt with a tank top, and see a lot more people experimenting with how they layer their clothes. Big over-exaggerated shoulders. I believe I talked about this in a winter trends prediction video. I feel like we are going to see a lot of over-exaggerated built sleeves. I've been seeing a lot of this already coming up on Instagram. I'm here for it. I love it. I think exaggerated silhouette in any sort of way is really cool. We've been seeing a lot of shoots for different magazines, people kind of doing like the paper doll style outfits, very exaggerated and playful. Something I predicted almost a year ago is military meets marching band. I am so excited for this. I don't think we're gonna see it maybe in the way of like a bright red with the gold and white detailing, but more so through like the all black renditions of it. And I think this is in line with the big shoulders too, because marching band jackets usually have exaggerated shoulders, structure, sometimes can have some boning in them to like keep a very strict shape. I love the neckline of them. I'm here for it. I really want one. Next, neckwear, any sort of neckwear, bandanas, scarves, ties. Again, this has been trending, but I'm seeing a lot more of like bandana, headscarf style stuff being tied around the neck to the side. Whereas I feel like last year it was the headscarf bandana tied around your head. So I think we're seeing it move from the head to the neck. Another accessory I was seeing a lot of is like belt bags, almost fanny pack-esque, but like fanny pack meets carpenter belt meets regular belt. I think it's cool. I think it has like a really cool utility look to it. There's a lot of fun colors. There's some that are like a denim material that match your jeans, but you can detach it and wear it with other outfits too, which I think is really cool. I like the way people were styling it, especially with like these denim jumpsuits that I was seeing, the bold colors mixed with them, whether that be the bag itself or like bandanas tied around the belt bag. Going back to the obsession with hair, I think we're also starting to see an uptick in fringe. On the runways, it was very exaggerated, but I don't think in our day-to-day life we're gonna see it in these huge pieces that are just completely fringe. I think we'll start to see jackets with fringe on them, purses with fringe on them, maybe even pants and skirts that have fringe on them, going along with like a suede kind of style, leaning into that. So that is the last trend that I wanted to talk about. Now let's move into how can we get into these trends without over-consuming. I'm gonna make this disclaimer before I say any of these things because I don't want people to think that I am attacking you or telling you what to do. I do not get to tell you how to spend your money. That is not the goal of my page. That has never been the goal of my page. My goal is to help you make better changes that are more informed when it comes to consumption. You can take this, you can leave it, you can say, Lainey, I hated every single idea, not doing any of that. That is fine. Take it with a grain of salt. First of all, plan ahead. Take the time to sit down and look at what's trending, whether that be on, I use Tagwalk to look at runways. So if you want to look at the actual runways and look at things for inspiration, or you use things like Pinterest and Instagram, make boards with things that you are repeatedly noting that you really, really like, and go through them and kind of group together what you're enjoying. I know it sounds like a lot of work, but I promise if you're being intentional like this about things, it's going to make your closet that much better. Do your research too as well, like on what is aligning with your personal style. If you're consistently seeing things pop up on Pinterest that you really like, try to find the original designer of it and like take note of what specific elements of those articles that you really, really like. And that's something you need to keep in mind for later. And then be stern on setting expectations of what you're going to allow yourself into your wardrobe. So for some people that could be, I'm only allowed to spend this amount of money. Other people could be, I'm only allowed to get this number of clothes. Some people will do a one in, one out. It is up to you and like what is realistic, but you have to be honest with yourself. And then the next thing I want you to do is ask yourself a couple questions. When you see an item you like, first thing you need to actually ask yourself is, do I actually truly like this item? Look at it, look at different renditions of it, look at it styled on different people, different body types. Do you actually like it, or are you just seeing it so much that you think you like it? Can you see it living in your current wardrobe with other pieces you already have? The next question you need to ask yourself is, will you wear this item when it is no longer a trend? This is a question I think a lot of people forget to ask themselves. It is okay to like trendy pieces. It is okay to be inspired by a trend during a season, but will you wear it when it is no longer trendy? Will it become an integral part of your wardrobe that you keep going back to? Or is it something that you're gonna love for a month, maybe two, and then you're gonna be like, I don't even know how to wear this anymore because it's not trendy and I've already worn it every way I could. And then ask yourself, what is it adding to your wardrobe? Is it adding texture? Is it adding color? Is it adding statement? Is it adding a basic? What gap is it filling? Which brings me to my next point. Wait it out and put it on your gap list. If you haven't watched my decluttering video, like how to declutter your closet, first of all, go check that out. But second of all, I talk about something I call the gap list, which is a list I make on my phone of articles of clothing that I think of throughout the year that I have been tempted to buy, have been inspired by, want to consider buying or finding secondhand. And I keep track of how many times I think of it. So anytime I think of it, I go in and if I've never thought of it before, I type it down. If I have thought of it, I tally it. And after I have a set number of either like tallies or months, if I'm still thinking about it, because I also write down the date of the first day that I think about it, I will then consider finding it secondhand before trying to find a small brand to buy it from, before buying it from a bigger company. Even if you don't want to take the time to make a gap list, just waiting a couple weeks can be really important as well. I know a lot of us live in a scarcity mindset where we think if we don't buy something we want right away, it's going to sell out, or it's never going to be restocked, or we're never going to find it. But the truth is, first of all, I'm a firm believer that like if it's meant for you, you're going to be able to find it, whether that be on the main website of the brand that's selling it, or secondhand, or through someone else. But also, maybe that's your sign that you don't need it yet. Maybe that's your sign that it wasn't meant for you. Now, it's a little bit different on secondhand websites because that stuff does tend to go quicker, but I would say at least wait a week, even if that means like sending a message to a seller and being like, hey, I just want to think on this for a little bit. Are you okay waiting a couple days for me to decide? Allowing yourself that time, because it should not be so immediate. Even if it's just like a day or two, even if you can only get yourself to wait a day or two. Number 4 is look for it elsewhere. Do you have things in your closet that are already similar to this, that resemble a trending item that you can give new life to by rewearing it and styling it in a slightly different way? Trends always come back around. You can look for things that were trending in 2016 now in 2026 on online websites, like online thrift stores and in-person stores. You might have to do a little bit of research on what the term for those things was back in 2016, because obviously with marketing, terms change for things over time. But I think that you will still be able to find those if you do a little bit of digging. As I said earlier, with the buttons, you can upcycle something. So if you have something in your closet that you feel like you're ready to get rid of, or it's not serving a purpose in your wardrobe anymore and you want to give it new life, and there's a way for you to change it or alter it to fit a new trend that you're interested in, I also say that that's a pretty good idea. This obviously depends on your skill set, what you're comfortable with. This might not be an option for everyone. So how do you bring these ideas into your own closet without necessarily having to buy the exact pieces that we see on the runway or just trending in fashion in general? One of the biggest things I realize is a lot of outfits that I like are not necessarily because of the base pieces of the outfits. It's actually the accessories of the outfit. So like I've been talking about this whole video, shoes and socks and tights, bags, glasses, hats, scarves, they can add so much to an outfit. And I think having more variety of those items will actually give you a lot more flexibility in your wardrobe versus a bunch of new tops and bottoms that might not all pair very well together. Layering your clothes in a new way. I said this already, but taking inspiration from the layering you've seen and really experimenting outside of the box. The tee and the tank top combo I think is going to be big this summer. I think it's going to be one of the easiest ways to add not only texture but layers to your outfit without overheating. Play with something adjacent. So for example, the zebra print and tiger print. I'm probably not going to be wearing those myself. I haven't been drawn to them naturally. It hasn't really been something that's been on my mind, but I love leopard print. And I think I can take some of the ways I was seeing zebra and tiger print on the runway being styled, I think I can take that and inspire me to style the leopard pieces I already have in my closet. And that's exciting to me because it gives me a new angle to look at a piece I already own. You can also alter the fit of your clothing. If you have any clothes that you like the pattern of, but maybe the fit isn't exactly perfect, you could take it to a tailor, or if you have someone who sews or you sew yourself. And then lastly, of course, shopping sustainable and small businesses. Let me know if you guys want a video on me talking about small designers and brands that are making changes and truly going about fashion in a way that I think is better for our planet. I am so excited to see people rock these looks this summer. I feel like fashion trends are really good this year. Like I'm feeling really inspired by all the different trends that I am talking about today. And I think we're at a very playful time in fashion. I feel like for a couple years there, we were really in like the minimalist clean girl aesthetic, which personally is not really my style. Not that that ever stopped me from dressing the way that I want to. It wasn't as inspiring to like go out and see people's outfits. It was affecting the fashion around me, I think, especially in New York, which is like a fashion hub, just seeing the same outfits all the time. And I feel like we're finally coming out of that. And that's really exciting for me as a person who loves to observe what other people are wearing. Let me know any thoughts you have on these trends in the comments. Do you love them? Will you be participating in any of them? And maybe how you plan to integrate them into your personal style or your wardrobe in a more sustainable way, if at all. And with all that being said, thank you so much for watching today's video. If you liked it, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. It really helps out the channel. Subscribe and turn on post notifications to get notified every single time I upload a video. And I will see you in the next one. Love you. Bye.